But yeah, let me just talk about a little bit about what I've been playing and watching recently. So this is not even a recent show, by the way. This is an old show from the 90s. It is called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I'm sure lots of you guys have heard of the show. I knew about the show back when it came on. Oh, by the way, if you hear some noises in the background, it's either I'm sipping coffee or something went off somewhere. Just consider it a special effect. We'll just say it's a special effect. Okay, if you hear any background noises, assume it's a special effect. No, we'll just go with that. It's a special effect. It might sound a bit weird, depending on how loud my neighbors get. Just consider it a special effect. It's a special effect. That's what we're going with. It's a special effect. All right. I'm either sipping coffee or it's a special effect. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer came on 1997 originally, and I knew about it. You know, it was a popular show at the time, but it just never looked that appealing to me. It never looked like something that I'd care about, and so I never watched it. And even when Angel came out, you know, that kind of looked like, oh yeah, Buffy, but for boys. That's the impression I got of it anyway. Like I said, I never actually watched Buffy, but it just came across as something like, oh, I guess Buffy's for girls and Angel is for boys or something like that. That's my mindset at that time. But yeah, again, it just didn't look that interesting to me. And bear in mind that I do like horror. You know, I do like, you know, vampires, and I'm very much into that kind of thing. Well, I'm not into it in the biggest way, but certainly into it in a way more than most people, I'd say. But even still, it just did not appeal to me for whatever reason at the time. It just didn't look like something I'd care about. So I never watched Buffy, never watched Angel. I never really thought about it after that. I knew a little bit about the show, of course, because like I said, it was a popular show, but mostly just didn't pay any attention. Recently, though, it was recommended that I check it out, maybe some months back, and it was on Amazon Prime at the time, so I did watch a few episodes, and I just thought, meh, hmm, and that was it. Amazon ended up taking it off their platform, and you had to pay to watch the rest of it. Like, you know, when they sometimes you have it as part of the Prime, but they take it off Prime. Not only way you can watch it is, but if you buy the episodes or buy the seasons. And I was like, nah, allow it. I don't want to do that. But then, just in the last maybe couple of weeks, at least the last few weeks that I know of, possibly earlier than that, but the last few weeks that I know of, it was on Disney Plus. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll give it another try. Maybe I'll give it another try. Again, it's been recommended. At this point, it's been recommended by a few people. First was recommended by one person. By the time it was on Disney Plus, it's been recommended by a few people. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll give it another try. So I watched the first few episodes again, and again I thought, but I watched a little bit more, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something there. And I watched a little bit more, and I was like, okay, this seems to be going somewhere. And I watched a little bit more, and you know what? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let me tell you, if you don't know about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it is awesome. Okay, it is pretty damn good. I mean, it is a bit of a slow start to begin with, and I get that, you know, this day and age, that's difficult because like it's so much choice, so many TV shows, like are maybe only like 10 episodes, 8, 9, 10 episodes now, and there's so much to choose from Netflix, Apple to Hulu to, well, we don't get Hulu in the UK, but my American friends get Hulu, HBO Max, you guys get as well. We don't get that, but there's still a lot of choices, whether which part of the world you're in. There's a lot of choices, a lot of different platforms, plus the regular TV shows. So I get it. It's hard to get into something that has a slow start. But yeah, if you have the time and the patience, then check out Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Season 1, I was really impressed with. It was really cool. Definitely 90s cheese. You know, definitely allow for some 90s cheese because it is very much a 90s show. So you definitely got to allow for some 90s cheese and the way things were done back then. But it's a pretty good show. At least the first season. I haven't started the second season yet, but I've been told the second season might be a little bit hit and miss. And apparently the third season onwards is where it like really excels. So I'm looking forward to getting into it, starting season 2 at some point. But so far, season 1 it's 12 episodes in season 1, and it goes 22 episodes or 20 something episodes per season after that. But the 12 episodes for season 1, I've got to give him props, man. Yeah, like I said, it's a bit of a slow burner, it's a bit of a slow start. But yeah, once it gets going, once it really kind of finds its feet, it doesn't quite hit the ground running like maybe some more modern shows would these days. But like I said, if you've got the time, you've got the patience, check out Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It is on Disney Plus. I sound like an advert a little bit right now, but hey, listen, if it's good, I'm gonna recommend it. That's how I see it. I am not sponsored by Disney or anybody for that matter, but who knows? Maybe one day we will be. We'll see how that goes.